People are hearing you and already asking where you stream at, and like I'm like constantly spamming your channel. This is like probably the fourth time I've
I
linked it.
the only place I stream is YouTube because you can't stream this on Twitch. Otherwise, I would be streaming on Twitch.
You know, I streamed on Twitch in 2018. I was streaming a Members Iron Man account on 07. And it was a lot of fun. That was my first time streaming, and this is the first time I streamed since then. So it's been a long hiatus.
I say
Oh,
used to
dude.
make old school RuneScape and Path of Exile videos and stream those games a couple years ago, and that did quite well.
Oh,
But I made a whole new
wow.
account and everything for 2004.
You just kind of struck a heartstring for me mentioning Path of Exile. If I had to choose a favorite game of all time, I hate saying this in front of a RuneScape audience, but RuneScape probably comes number 2 for me after Path of Exile.
Man, no, RuneScape's always been number 1 for me. I basically made a YouTube series that was like RuneScape player tries Path of Exile, and it was like chat teaching me how to play the game. And I basically in one season I went through and like killed all of the bosses, killed Maven and all that, and did that. Tried to play another season, got a little bit of the way through that, and then just got a bit burnt out from making videos of it.
No, that's understandable. So, I mean, in the MMO genre, RuneScape's top for me. So, like MMOs, it goes WoW, RuneScape, and then like everything else, like WoW and RuneScape are no, flip those around. RuneScape, WoW, WoW's number 2, and then I feel like those two games are in a league of their own, and then everything else for MMOs. But
you see,
the ARPG is my favorite genre, and so it's tough.
Because I never played WoW as a kid. I think I logged in and got to like level 5, and then I was just like, no, I prefer RuneScape. But recently, I made an account and I played for like a month on the classic server, and I got to like level 26, 27, and it was pretty fun because I never had that experience as a kid, and I know it's a massive game for a lot of people because they grew up with it, but I never really had that experience, so I didn't have any nostalgia for it.
That's perfect. And even without the nostalgia, you made an excellent choice choosing the vanilla servers. They have a certain magic to them, and I mean, it's reminiscent of exactly what we're doing right now. Literally sacrificing to the 07 and the modern RS3 at the altar of the 2004scape servers because we just like the old way that the game felt. It's cool seeing this happen almost like a third time, because the first time I ever saw this happen was with RuneScape when they launched 2007. Then it happened again with WoW when they released vanilla. But I think this is the first time in gaming, it's a bit of history, if you will, where a game that has been around for 20 plus years has a reboot. The reboot is more successful than the original. And then the reboot changes so much that it needs a third reboot. So the third reboot, we're yet to see. This is like history in the making. Will this third reboot of the game ever outpace what is now 07scape? To be determined. It's really interesting to be a part of, though.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people have nostalgia for how the game used to be, and then a lot of people maybe don't have nostalgia, but just prefer how the game was back here and feel that more of the modern updates have sort of taken the game in a direction that they're not necessarily a fan of anymore.
100%. So I'm curious, man. How did you find this server, and when did you start playing?
How did I find this server? That's a good question. I honestly can't remember. I think I must have seen a YouTube video on it. I don't remember who it was, but I've played private servers before in the past to like just like have better XP rates or like PK on and stuff. But then I got back into old school a lot more, and I've like AFKing on my main account trying to max on there. But I was like, I just want something else to play while I'm just like mining stars on old school. Started this up and just sort of got hooked into it. It seems like it's got like the community on this server is a lot better than a lot of the communities on other private servers because it's got less of that private server vibe. It's like 1-to-1 XP rates, and everyone just seems like a lot less toxic, should we say, than a lot of other private servers. So I've just sort of stuck with it and met loads of cool people that have made me want to keep playing.
So when you were playing your main account, and when you say main, I assume on 07?
Yeah, I've got a main and an Iron Man on 07.
Nice. Okay. I'll get into my 07 experience here in a bit, but so for your initial foray into 04, were you side monitoring 04 while maining your 07 accounts, and this was like your side project, and 04 your main project, or
No,
07 your main project?
I was side monitoring '07 because all I'm doing is like mining shooting stars. So I just click once every 5 minutes on my third monitor and just play 2004 on my main one.
Okay, so you like dove right in. As soon as you loaded this up, you immediately made it your first primary monitor game.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, I'm gonna kind of share my like intro to this here, which is kind of the opposite. So on 07, from 2018, I've got my members Iron Man. Haven't really played it much since 2018. He's got 1500 skill level. He was a lot of fun. I was streaming for like 6 weeks straight, and then had to like start a job and couldn't keep up with streaming and the new job. So that account just kind of got buried. But then about like 4 years ago, I don't know what came over me, but I was like, I'm really bored and I want to play RuneScape, and I don't want to play it on a computer. I want to play it on mobile. So I made this account. I called it Josh Brown Mob for mobile. And I started it as an Iron Man, a free to play Iron Man. And I thought it was like going to be like something I like play for a bit and then drop.
Mm.
I got so into it, man. I got sucked into the free to play meta for Iron Man. And I don't know if you know this, there is literally a whole website and Discord and community dedicated specifically to the 2007 games free to play Iron Man meta.
Oh yeah, it's a huge community. Yeah.
It's huge. And have you met Pazaz or seen any of his content?
I've seen his videos, yeah. I've not spoken to him though.
Same. He's a big part of that community.
Yeah, he's staying free to play when Mumbas comes out on 2004, isn't he?
Yes, he is, which is
wild.
absurdism. I can't believe. I almost like. I'm curious to see if he sticks to it, because like it's easier said than done. Because right now on free to play in 07, there's a captive audience that keeps a community playing the game simply because it's free.
Yeah.
That's not going to exist in this game. Members is going to be free as well. So, I mean, other than the pure desire to play free to play, there's no incentive to play it. So I'm wondering if he ends up as like one of like 5 players and then is like, oh, this isn't fun. I'm going to play members. Or we'll see. Maybe there's going to be like dozens. Maybe there'll be dozens or scores of players that stay free to play. I can tell you Pause is the only one I've heard of.
I have a feeling he'll stick to it because, I mean, it takes a certain kind of person to stick to runecrafting for that long without focusing on anything else. And I think as well, like, he's got quite popular on YouTube from his content. And I think people are going to want to follow, like, Snowflake accounts like that, like a free-to-play account, because no one wants to play that account themselves, but people are interested in seeing other people do those kinds of challenges. So I think he'll stick with it because he'll build a community around people that want to watch that kind of content. And I think he just enjoys it. I think he's done free to play content on old school, and I think it's just how he enjoys playing the game, you know.
Boy, either way, whatever happens, I'll be rooting for him because I think it's really cool what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyways, I found this game through that free-to-play Iron Man community. I was in a Discord and someone like dropped the link for it. And I was like, nah, I'm not really interested in that. And then I went to there's a website that has all the best metas for the free-to-play Iron Man version of the game. And on the website, in the top left, they've got it posted. They literally have like front and center, top left. First thing you see when you go to this free-to-play Iron Man website is a link to this game. So there's a bunch of collaboration between that community and these devs. And then the straw that broke the camel's back for me was in the Discord for the free-to-play Iron Man community, there's actually a 2004scape channel dedicated to just this game. So it was kind of like a marketing thing. I saw it, and then I saw it a second time, and then I saw it a third time when I saw the dedicated 2004scape channel. I rolled up an account thinking, oh, let me go look at the graphics. And I was like, side monitoring this game, killing chickens, and main monitoring the 2004. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm main monitoring the 2007 game. By like day 3, that flipped entirely.
Over, yeah.
Oh man! By day 3, I was mining Rune Essence on the free to play Iron Man and like maining this game. And by day 4, I ditched the free to play Iron Man. And I was like all in on this. I think like 1 to 2 weeks in, I started streaming, and like this is like the main game. I'm like so sucked in. It's been a blast.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you said that there's like channels for it in the like official free to play for 07, because I sort of maybe thought that main game players would maybe like frown upon like a private server being stretched like that. But now that I think about it, actually, like Slayer Music's been making videos on it, and like I think there's a guy called 25 Buttholes who's been making videos on it. Like, it's getting a lot more exposure than like other servers, and I think maybe that's to do with like the whole open source, non-profit nature of it, maybe.
You know, I can't put my finger on that. It definitely blew up, and I mean, part of it has to be attributed to the quality of the product. I mean, big shout out to Pazaz. He spent 2 to 3 years of his life making this, and I mean, it really does not feel any different than what it felt like in 2004 when I started playing this game in middle school, which is just a massive achievement.
Yeah,
so definitely. I mean, quality of the product for sure is a part of it, but then quality products miss all the time just because they don't get bumped. But you know, I mean, people are bumping it. You've got it up on the free-to-play website. I just had a really cool experience. Someone who watched some other videos on my channel from a different game I used to make videos on hopped into the stream just because he saw that I was live, had never seen RuneScape in his life, and was fascinated to learn about it and said he's gonna make an account. So some guy who like I met playing a mobile game who's never played any version of RuneScape is now gonna make an account, and his first exposure to the game is gonna be Pazaz's private server of 04. And that's just wicked cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, tell me about your account and kind of like what your goals are. Like, what are you working on? What have you worked on? And then what will you be working on between now and pay-to-play releasing?
So my main goal is to get all the highest skill requirements for every single members quest. So when members drops, I can do all the quests. I don't have to go train anything. That's sort of like the first goal. I'll probably put some videos out describing this in a bit more detail, but secondary goals are going to be things like nice to have. So I would like to have 44 runecrafting to runecraft natures. I would like to have a certain number of willow logs in the bank to be able to train fletching. I would like to have some herblore secondaries stacked up. So it's sort of everything is gearing towards preparing for members. I thought I had way more time, and then since that announcement that it's actually coming end of March, the timeline has shortened drastically, so I think I need to step up my grind a little bit. But yeah, just basically getting all the skill requirements, and then when members comes out, I think that's going to open up better methods for actually training some skills. So I don't want to go too hard on any one specific skill because there'll probably be better methods when members comes out. I just want to be able to have members comes out and I am able to do everything. I'm not locked down because I don't have any of the requirements. That's my general goal. And I would like to do all the quests when they come out.
Is there any single skill that you're like singular focused on and like putting weight, like extra effort into just that one skill, or are you keeping it all even?
At the moment, I'm just sort of trying to get the skill requirements. So it like I've spent a little bit of time mining. I've got that knocked out. 52 is the max skill requirement for that. I've got 50 wood cutting. Most of them are like in the 50s for Legends Quest is like the one quest that's going to have the highest requirements. But after I've got all of those, I'm not quite sure what to focus on. I want to get my combats up because I'm only like in the 40s in combats, and I'd like to be able to do things like go to KBD with a group of people and things like that. I'd also like to give PKing a try in the future, so I'm going to have to get my prayer up, my ranged up, my magic up, things like that. But in general, I just sort of grind something out for a particular means to an end or until I get bored and then I switch it up. I'm not like Pause. I can't just do runecrafting for a week straight.
So Pause inspired me to do just that, if you can believe it. And that's what I've been doing. So about 2-3 days ago, I hit runecraft leaderboards with 62 runecrafting.
Nice.
That whole idea just got flipped on its head when the announcement came out. I'm sure you've noticed, as everyone did, the price of S just completely went through the roof. It doubled. It went from 25 per S to 50.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just made me... It was almost a good and bad thing at the same time. It forced me to be creative. And so my creative pivot was I'm going to now work towards doing everything I can to set myself up to be able to farm a nature talisman as quickly as possible. And the first part of that for me was getting combat levels. So I'm going for base 60 combats, and then after that, it's going to be farming monsters that have the best chance to hit the rare drop table. And this is still a research project for me. I cannot find good intel on what is the best monster in the game to hit the rare drop table with, because there's a bit of a balance there. You've got either a monster can have a high percentage chance of hitting the rare drop table, better dice roll, or B, a monster can be quick to kill, more dice rolls. And so balancing those two, I still have no idea which monster I should be farming to get the most chances at the rare drop table. And I don't know if you have any clue on that. If not, that's okay. But if you have some ideas, I'm open to them.
I don't know a specific monster, but what I would say is more dice rolls is usually gives you a better chance than one dice roll with a higher chance of hitting it. Like the more dice you end up rolling in the long term is going to give you a greater chance of success, I think. So obviously you need to find the balance somewhere in the middle, but I would sort of steer more towards something that's quicker to kill rather than one thing that's got a better chance that just because, like, if it was not such a ridiculous chance, you'd be better off just killing the thing with a better chance over and over again until you get it. But some of the rare drop table stuff is great. Like, I think I was looking earlier, like the dragon shield half from a hill giant is like, without a ring of wealth on, it's like 1 in 174,000. Like, how are you? Like, if it took like 2 minutes to kill a hill giant, there's no chance you're getting that.
Yeah, it's unfarmable. It's slot machine.
Yeah.
So on the rare drop table, the nature talisman is 1 in 24.
Yeah.
So first you have to hit the rare drop table, and then, the 24 rare drop tables on average is going to get it. Something interesting that I learned, I don't know if you know this, nature talisman and chaos talisman are actually sister items.
Yeah, whether you kill them above or underground, right?
Exactly. And so I just learned this yesterday. If you're below ground in a dungeon and you roll a talisman, it's going to be a chaos. And then if you're above ground, it's going to be a nature. Somebody in my chat, and I've not been able to verify this, they claim that fire giants are unique and that there's no other monster in the game other than fire giants that has somehow the ability to drop both.
Yes, that's correct.
And if that is correct, is it proven that it's going to be that way in 2004? Because all the code is public. And yesterday we had the developer of the marketplace that we all use, which is actually a separate app that he developed on his own. It's unaffiliated with Lost City. So even though it's linked up there, it's actually totally unaffiliated, and he's the sole developer. But he knows a lot about the code, and he posted a picture of the exact part of the code that determines the drop of the nature talisman. And I'm not a coder, but I couldn't discern anything in there that seemed like it would indicate that any monster has a different drop rate for either of these items. Like, I feel like something in the code would say fire giant, and I'm looking at here and I don't see like fire giant or any sort of variable for fire giant.
I mean, I'm not a coder either, but I'm assuming like fire giant would be referenced, like there'll be like a file or something that has all the data for the fire giant, and they'll just reference that file by like a number or a string or something. So you might not actually see the words fire giant. But to be honest, I've never seen any code for RuneScape, so I could be completely wrong.
So, okay, do you think that makes fire giants the best monster to farm for nature tallies?
I think, possibly. I mean, fire giants are going to be very difficult to farm because they're going to be absolutely packed. I think the only place that I'm aware of is a waterfall dungeon where you'll be able to kill them. And people are going to be farming them for rune skims. I don't think you're ever going to be able to get a spot. I think there's going to be so many people going there that even if there is the best chance of getting a nature talisman, you're probably better off going somewhere else because you'll be able to actually kill more than like one every 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I mean, I've been at Hill Giants right now, and I saw you were as well.
Yeah.
And Hill Giants are starting to get packed. I've actually had to world hop 3 times just at Hillies. And I mean, we're going to have a massive player spike when Members comes out.
Yeah.
They said they're going to release more worlds. And, the big question is, will the ratio of players to worlds and effectively the ratio of players to resources be the same when Members drops? Or is it going to, dive one way or the other? And no one really knows.
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier because, on one hand, you've got so much more of the world is opening up, and it's going to be interesting because there's going to be other places that you can go to mine coal. There's going to be other places where you can go to kill certain mobs. So you're going to have a lot less competition on that in that way. But if members release brings in a huge influx of players, that's going to swing the scales back in the other direction. So you might just end up with there's less competition in the case of there's more places to go, but because there's more players, those places are going to get filled up just as quickly as free-to-play worlds get filled up. So I don't know, but I think it all depends on how many players come back or how many new players come in when Members gets released. We'll have to see.
I agree. It'd be nice if we understood the design philosophy. Maybe there's some ratio or ratio that the devs are tracking of like players to worlds where if it gets above a certain amount, that's when they release a new world. As far as I know, Pazaz has only done one interview, and it was with Vancouver, who streamed it on Kick. Did you get a chance to tune into that?
I tried to watch it. He was a little too energetic for me to watch the whole thing. No shade being thrown at anyone here, but it was just not my vibe. I was like, I can't sit through the whole thing. I'm sorry.
No, I can respect that. I'll reserve any opinions. I was really glad to see Pazaz choosing to let himself be interviewed by a content creator. Yes. And 400 people tuned in. And I mean, already that is such a sign of professionalism that puts Pazaz above and beyond most like AAA game developers.
It's nice to have that transparency for sure.
Yes, absolutely. If he's open to that, I hope he does more of it, and maybe we can find more than one creator. We could do maybe kind of a roundtable discussion if he's open to it, just to give him an opportunity to speak to the community through the lens of the rest of the content creators. I think it'd be a great way to do it, but up to him and up to the creators in the community to see if that's something that would ever happen.
Yeah, I'd like to see more interviews with him, or even if it's not an interview, maybe just like a Q&A where we can post questions and he like goes through and answers them, even if it's just like a Discord post like over text. Just get some more insight into like how he's like approaching the project, and there maybe some of this decision making and things that he's like most excited about, or things that he wants to focus on, and what direction he thinks the project should go in. Because everyone's going to have their own opinions, but at the end of the day, he's created this. It'd be interested to see where he wants it to go, and then we can compare that to the demands of the community, I guess.
Sure. All right, this is a topic that I feel like has to be brought up. It's no one's favorite, but it's sort of an elephant in the room, is that this is a game that is not developed by Jagex. And everyone is aware that there's some risk to the longevity of the server. I'm not going to add any more context than that, but let's just leave the question at how do you perceive the longevity of the server and any risk toward the server not having longevity, and how do you think about that as a player?
So I think the two main things that are going for it is that it's open source and it's non-profit. I think that is, if it didn't have those two qualities, I think I would be more worried about the longevity. I think there are other examples of other servers out there that have similar qualities to them that are still running and have been for a while. So that gives me some confidence. Obviously, at the end of the day, it could just get shut down. We don't know. But I think it's more important to focus on the time that you spend enjoying the server for what it is. I think, if you're having fun with it, I don't think you should think too much about that. I think you should enjoy it for as long as we've got it, and leave it at that, really. I mean, if you're putting hundreds of hours of your life into it and you're not getting, a proper return on investment of enjoyment and happiness from the game, maybe you're playing it wrong. That's not, no judgment there, not for me to say, but, I think enjoy it for as long as we can, because it's a great project, and maybe there's some concerns about the longevity, but I think it's I think it's in a better space to continue to thrive than other projects that have come in and gone in the past.
You know what? I'll let you delve as far down this as you want to. And I'll just say, from my end, I'm interested to hear you speak about it because I don't have that experience. This is the first private server that I've ever played for RuneScape. I never thought I would ever play a private server. I never saw a reason to. There's been private servers for this game, basically since it's come out. But from my perspective, none of them were offering anything that Jagex was not already. And so the only reason to play a private server, as far as I could see, was to save money. And that was never an incentive for me in any way, shape, or form. Some people I've heard liked the better XP rates, and that was actually an anti-incentive for me. But this is unique to me. And so, for the first time, an authentic product is being offered, but not by Jagex. And that's kind of what's drawn me to it. It's the same thing that happened with Vanilla WoW with projects like Nostarius and Elysium. So here I am playing a private server for the first time. You said you've played some other private servers. I'll let you take that as you wish or skip over it. But, is there anything worth discussing there about your private server experience other than Lost City?
I guess I could say Lost City is a different vibe. So, the main reasons why I've played private servers in the past is, I think a big one for a lot of people is it's a great place to practice PKing without risking all of your money on the main game. So you can just PK. There's like spawn servers where you don't even have to spend money. You can just spawn items in, and you can just use that to practice PKing. So then when you PK on the main game, you've got those skills, and you don't have to waste all of your hard-earned money on the real game. Other reasons I played, again, like the XP rates. If some people just don't have the time to grind out 99s, so it can be fun just to see level go. Like we all play RuneScape, right? Because number goes up, dopamine hits brain, and so when you play a private server that's got increased XP, like dopamine hits brain way more often and way more because XP is big. And it's fun for a little bit, but I've never played any of them like super long term, like maybe like a month or two, and then like don't play them again for like another year or so. So it's just sort of like if I'm getting a bit burnt out of normal RuneScape, I've maybe hopped on one, or like if some of my friends maybe are playing one, like it's kind of fun to play it together for a little bit. But I think Lost City is different because, like you've got it, there's no boosted XP rates, and there are some other private servers out there where you can like choose like the realism mode where you have like 1 times XP rate as well, but that's not much fun when you've got everyone getting big XP drops around you. But this is different because it, like you said, it's an authentic experience. It's a recreation of the game, and it is essentially just playing RuneScape how it was back then. There's no gimmicks, there's no like donator ranks, you can't like spend real money to get loot boxes, or like you can't buy an AGS. It's just how the game was, and the fact that Members is coming out and it's all free and non-profit, I think it's great, and I think that's what sets it apart from other private servers. Is a lot of those servers are created obviously because people want to make money, and I can tell you now, I've got some inside gossip from some of the like owners of some private servers. They are making tens of thousands of dollars a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But this isn't for that, and I think that's, that says something about the reason why it was created, the passion that the volunteer devs have got for it, and I think that's why it's grown so much, because there's none of that like, oh, it's just some guy trying to make a quick buck. It's a passion project, and everyone that was passionate about the game back in this era, I think is enjoying it for what it is.
Beautiful. I completely agree with everything there. I think this has been a gift for all of us. I mean, I don't know. Let's check exactly how many players are online right now. We'll do a quick website check. 2004, 628, which frankly is a record. So clearly the members announcement, even without it being here, has caused an uptick. There's clearly a demand for this, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of so far. So, hey, let me ask you, I know you're on UK time. What time is it there?
It is nearly 20 to midnight.
20 to midnight. What a gamer, man. Huge props to you. I find myself staying up till 2 a.m. on school nights sometimes for this. And I say sometimes as if I'm getting out of something. I stream live every night. Everybody knows I've been up till 2 a.m. pretty much every school night. So sometimes it's me trying to shy away from the truth there. I've been very into this game, and I plan to continue to be. It's been a blast. So
Yeah,
um,
I've had some late nights as well. Look, I'm lucky in that I work from home, so I don't have to get up, and I don't start until 9:30, so I can sort of stay up a little bit later, and like maybe AFK some like fishing while I'm working as well, which has been quite fun.
nice, man, nice. That's excellent. I have the opportunity to work from home, but over exercising it, there's a culture thing there at the workplace. You don't want to raise any eyebrows. So
Yeah,
it's something that I can use, but I should use it sparingly. I do have flexibility in my job for hours, though. I'm in sales, and so at the end of the day, as long as I'm doing my job and supporting myself in the business, it'll be okay. But that's just a discipline thing that I need to manage. Along with the dog, the house, the wife, and some semblance of a social life that we try to keep up.
yeah. I saw your dog on stream the other day. It looks super cute.
Yeah, that's Clifford. He's not here right now. He's with the wifey, but he is absolutely the goodest boy. Do you have a dog?
I don't know. I did have a cat, but not anymore.
Ah. Well, I'm a big pet fan. I did live with one cat one time, and it was a blast. It was a bit funny because the roommate who I was living with, we moved in together. He got there first and didn't tell me there was a cat. So then I moved in. I'm bringing my stuff into this room, and this cat and I see each other, and we scare the bejesus out of each other simultaneously. And I call, his name's Trevor. I go, Trevor, so there's a cat in here. And he's like, yeah, I probably should have told you that. But it all turned out great. The cat and I became best of friends, and we would spend time watching shows on the couch together. So fan of all types of animals.
Same.
Well, hey, man, how much longer are you going to be playing tonight, do you think? Or is it kind of a play by ear until the dopamine stops winning over the tiredness?
Yeah, I think until my brain sort of stops working, or I look at the clock and I'm like, oh, I need to be up very soon. So I think maybe like another hour to 2 hours, maybe I'll be on.
Right, man. Well, I think there's been a ton for all of us to digest. This was an awesome conversation. Thank you so much, Garlic. And I should add, is Garlic okay? Is that the best address for you?
Yeah.
Terrific. I'm definitely open to doing more of this type of content. I think this has been great. And yeah, man, is there any, let me end on this. What are your plans? We've talked about your plans for the game. What are your plans for content creation?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. And also, just thanks for having me on your stream to chat. It's been cool. I've got a couple of ideas for videos. I think what I'm going to try and do is like mix progress with like some rambles about things, because I feel like it's the best way to just add content into just rambleness about thoughts. So I've got some ideas where I'm going to make some videos on quality of life updates, like just go through all of the quality of life updates that have been added into the game over the years and when they came out, and then give my thoughts on whether or not they should be added or they shouldn't be added. I would like to also go through and make a video about updates of things that were in the game in the year 2004 but won't be in the game when members drops. So things that you might log in and go, well, it's 2004scape, why don't we have Brimhaven Agility? And I'll go through and list all these things that came out in 2004 but won't be on members release, and talk about them to just make people aware of, don't come in expecting these bits of content because they won't be there. Maybe they can plan for it in the future. And then I'd also like to make some videos on like a bit more in depth on my plans for when members drop. So I've got a big document of all the quests, all the XP rewards from those quests, and then like I'm going to try and put together like a step-by-step, like in what order to do quests in the most efficient way to avoid training some of the early levels. So for example, you can get to like 20 thieving, 25 fletching without actually training those skills just through quest rewards. So I want to go through that in a bit more detail, so maybe people can follow along if they just want to turn their brains off and do quests.
Oh my gosh, dude. Wow. I did not know what I was going to get when I asked that question. I was kind of expecting something along the lines of, oh, maybe a little bit more live streaming, but all of that, I am
and live streams as well.
Dude, wow. I mean, all of those videos sound excellent. Videos that I'm going to watch and use myself. So, wow. Big, now you've said it, man. Big shoes to fill, huh?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I much prefer the live streams, but I'm going to try and get all that done before the 29th of March. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, for me, I've done some video creation in the past, and it's just unbelievably time consuming, which is why I have so
Yeah.
much respect for what I mean. You've only done the two videos, but truly, the two videos you did are the top quality of content that have been created for the game so far. So, I mean,
I don't
huge
know about
kudos to
that,
what you've
but
created.
I appreciate it. I've had a couple
Oh
people
no,
come into my stream and said, "Oh, really, your videos are really good. You're really, really good." I'm like, maybe it's just imposter syndrome. I don't know. But I'm like, I appreciate the kind words.
no, not at all, man. And now
No
I
matter
feel
how
just a little
exaggerated
bit
they
of
might
need
be.
to I feel a little bit of need to back it up to make sure you understand that I'm being genuine here. The other types of videos that get created are either AI voice background videos, or there's a lot of videos that are people typing an in-game chat to the viewers.
True.
And
True.
then the third type of video is videos with like nothing, just people playing, just like pure gameplay feeds.
Yeah.
25 Buttholes has created some excellent content,
Yeah.
but
His
even
videos are pretty
25
funny.
Buttholes, yeah, even 25 Buttholes is using AI voiceovers. I mean,
Yeah.
the quality of your content has to do with hard what's the word I'm looking for? Hard objective things that make it better, which is you put your own editing effort into it and you put your own voiceover on it, which I mean, just that alone is putting you ahead of the rest of the content creators. So keep doing what you're doing. It's really great to have that content in the community. It's great for us as viewers and it's great for promoting the game. So thanks for it.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
As far as my own content, man, I'm probably just gonna stick to live streaming. I do have a bit of a pipe dream of paying an editor to like go through my VODs and like edit the videos. But I mean, I know that that's cost prohibitive now. If the channel ever does start to earn some amount of revenue where I can begin to justify paying an editor to make some videos, that'd be awesome. But
Yeah.
I do understand what goes into it because I've downloaded DaVinci Resolve as video editing software.
Hey, that's what I use as well.
It's a great software. It's a
It's
wonderful
good.
tool. And anyone who wants to get into it, it's free to download and use for starting. There's a paid option that makes it better, but I've never used the paid option.
No, neither have I.
But it's one of those things, man, where like anything else in life, the more you put in, the more you get out. And when you're just first starting it, you're making your first video. What would take a experienced developer 20-30 minutes to edit might take me multiple hours because I'm Googling things, looking things up, nothing second nature yet. I don't know the hotkeys. And to develop the skill of video editing to where it can become efficient is a massive undertaking. And if I'm realistic with myself, I don't have the time for it along with everything else that I'm juggling in game, in my life, and with the current live stream. So maybe one day. But huge kudos to you for being able to download it, learn it, and really create some high quality production.
I mean, I will say it's not without years of practice. I have a second YouTube channel that I've done many different series on different games for, so I've got a lot of practice with it. It never really took off, but I've got a lot of hours in DaVinci Resolve, so it's not like these are my first ever videos that I've ever made. So maybe that explains a little bit of it.
That does, and it shows. So let's close off, man, with doing some shameless shouting out of each other here. This has been Josh Brown and Garlic talking about 2004scape Lost City. It's been an awesome conversation. Hopefully one of many more to come. Everyone, if you're not already, please go to Garlic's channel. You can find him on YouTube. Just type Garlic04, all one word, Garlic04. He'll come right up. He really is the highest quality content creator of the game yet. So show some appreciation and make sure he gets some of that love. I can be found easily as well on YouTube, just Josh Brown Games. And the algorithm needs your help, all of you, not just for our own selfish reasons, but for the server. Content is the best way to get the server to grow. We're at 600 concurrent players right now. It'd be really good to be around 5,000. I think would be a good number.
I've
and Garlic,
maybe
that's something
in my chat.
I'm doing the same, man. Whenever we pick up, that might be another interesting topic we can talk about next time. Is what's a healthy player base for the game? Because I do think there's a point where it could get too big, and the economy becomes a bit less meaningful because there's too many people and too many resources. But we can table that, bookmark it. It's something fun to talk about in the future.
Sure.
But this has been great, man. I really appreciate getting the opportunity to meet you and have this conversation. Thanks for it.
Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate you having me on.
All right. Until next time, enjoy your final hour or two of grinding, man. And we'll be here. We'll stay in touch.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your stream.
Cheers.
See you, man.